Opening of schools rugby, the Oratory derby, 3 games back-to-back for you. Under 16s in just a couple of moments' time. The second 15s at 6:15 p.m. and the first 15s at 7:30 p.m. We've already had 2 games as well. The under 14s, the under 15s. They went the way of London Oratory in completely nail-biting encounters. Now we move towards the older lads. Last year, across the 5 fixtures, it was even Stevens. 2 wins for the Oratory, 2 for London Oratory, and 1 draw. But mainly, it was excitement all the way. And I'm joined for this one by Mikey Hennessy, head of rugby at the Oratory. And Mikey, a very special evening ahead of us after what's been a special day already.
Yeah, a real highlight of our season, Angus. Something we look forward to every year. It's our 3rd year down here at Grasshoppers Rugby Club and our 3rd year working with Next Gen to stream the game. So really looking forward to these matches ahead.
We certainly are, and it's the Oratory that got us started. They're playing from right to left. They're gold and black hoops. London Oratory in possession in red and black. And you'll see a few players with different shirts on, such as the way of school rugby, hey? Maul is created on the 10-metre line. Goes to ground though, ball will come back. Referee playing advantage. And London Oratory will look to play in. They make a little bit of ground there. Fast hands intercepted by the Oratory, so we'll come back for the penalty. Fast-paced start here at Grasshoppers RFC. And Mikey, this is, I guess, you know, it's all about competition on the pitch, but a game like this, a scenario like this, it's about the experience of the boys as well, as much as anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've tried to make our sort of rugby experience as positive as possible down through the school and not just sort of focus on the top-end senior team. So a real opportunity here for the boys to play under the lights at a great venue at Grasshoppers Rugby Club and for their friends and family to be able to watch them streamed on YouTube. So I know there's been a lot of excitement in the school about today, and I'm sure the boys are all looking forward to it.
They certainly are. They certainly are. Had the opportunity to chat to a few of the players up in the bar earlier. Over a coffee, I should hasten to add.
I was slightly worried. Some of them are already 18, so I was keeping an eye on them, but most of them still looking to play later, I think.
London Oratory line out, comes down safely. Moving up towards the 22. Now they'd look to release this back line. Marco D'Amico took that one in from fly half.
Rudy Derbyshire inside centre here for the Oratory, working really hard in defence. Looked like a big tackle.
Defence swarming around London Oratory's attack. Robert Power, the skipper, in the outside centre shirt for London Oratory. But it's been taken by the Oratory. They run off the scrum half and a big tackle comes in. Now the boot comes in high, hanging above the floodlights. That one goes. It's a really wonderful take under the high ball. That one was swirling about like nobody's business, but no advantage coming. And Oratory will have a penalty midway between the 22 and the 10-metre line. And the chance, really for the first time, to try and just set something up here. 3 minutes in, and a moment's calm. Pretty decent nudge as well. 5 or 6 metres into opposition territory. And the Oratory just going off their feet there at that ruck. Very hot on it.
Just watching the former first 15 coach, Mr. Ian Jordan, right in front of us here. I think his 25th year at coaching rugby at the Oratory, so a veteran of this fixture.
Knows a thing or two about the game, I'm sure. 25 years. You'll have seen some players in that time. Oratory. Oh, I thought they'd nick that line out, but concede a short arm penalty there. There's a little bit of a debate as to what the option is here. I think they are going to go to the corner. Which does suggest it possibly wasn't a short arm penalty. Referee's arm just not as straight as it might have been.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for the London Oratory because they did well to get up at the front of the line out to turn the ball over. That seems to be some sort of misdemeanor at the tail, which has given the Oratory field position here.
I was evidently looking at the wrong part of the line out there. Oratory and Hector threatening the London Oratory line. Now they move it out to the wide channels. And Aitken Woods. Real opportunity here. Ball goes to ground, but it's still alive. Offload's coming in. Could be some space out on the far side if they can get the ball to it. They do. Stepping back inside goes Underhay. Almost up to the line. Scrambling defence from London Oratory. And they get the penalty as the result. Really sharp work in defence. But tidy work in attack too. Real ambition there in that attacking play.
Yeah, good play from AD Hector initially to open things up, and Aitken Woods carried well on the far side. I'm not sure how close Denzel Naughty on the left wing here was to having a free run in, but the ball couldn't quite work its way out to him.
With sharp work on the floor in defence. Necessary work as well. Potential try-scoring chance. London Oratory hooker taking a few extra inches in field there. Never gets policed anymore, that. Time was you had to throw into the line out for him off the field rather than a couple of yards inside, but these days, much like the straight put in at the scrum, grab a few extra inches. Messy ball, but London Oratory tidy it up and now find a little bit of space, and there could be a bit of an opening on this near side. Offload comes in and there is a bit of space down here. Offload City at the moment, but a foot in touch, and the Oratory will have a penalty. Bit of a debate here as to what exactly everyone wants to do. It's like a line out is what we finally settled upon. Will Wallet will throw in. Jamie Donovan, by the way, the Oratory skipper, wearing 8 today. As his fly half, AD Hector, launches that one. It's collected nicely in the backfield by London Oratory. Coached today by Mr. Gallagher. Set up for the box kick. Big towering box kick. The ball is loose, hacked through, an opening here perhaps. Foot race now for the line, but it's tidied up very, very nicely in the end by Denzel Naughty.
A great pressure release there for the London Oratory. Denzel Naughty struggling with the initial box kick, did well to recover, but a good outcome here for the London Oratory, the 5-metre attacking scrum.
Big opportunity this for London Oratory. 5-metre scrum. On the 15-metre line. Just enough blindside for the number 8 to think about having a rumble. But so much open side that they may look to open things out there.
Max, come round, come round.
Number 8 does have a rumble, goes around the corner, gets across the line, Jack Gallagher. But Lorenzo Bonini, I do apologise, playing at 8, wearing 4. Lorenzo Bonini breaks off the scrum, uses that blind side, and gives London Oratory the lead. And Mikey, he gets so wide so fast, doesn't he? He gets outside of the back row's reaches, really, by almost going on that sideways arc.
Yeah, really impressive finish from the number 8, say wearing 4. Really explosive off the base of that scrum. Just managed to get on the outside of Jamie O'Donovan, the captain, and then Max Schutz, the covering scrum half, and Denzel Naughty on the left wing, not able to deal with him. So a really strong, impressive finish there from the London Oratory.
I did mention at the start of the game that we're going to have a few interesting shirt numbers. As you can see there, we've got 2 number 4s on the field, but it was the number 8 in position rather than number on shirt, Lorenzo Bonini, that got the score. And this is one of our 3 number 9s taking the conversion. Just drifts to the left-hand side, but London Oratory have a 5-0 lead.
JJ McCarthy actually did an excellent job putting a lot of pressure on the kicker there. It was almost our Chelson Colby moment. He was pretty close to charging that ball down.
I've been watching that Chelson Colby moment time and time again. I can't decide whether he's onside or offside. In that, I think he started on the try line, and if you start on the line, I think you're offside. Anyway, more of that later. London Oratory in possession, tails up, try to the good. The Oratory defence absolutely flying up off the line, forcing their opponents to come back inside. On the back foot now, though. But again, it's a big rush in defence, making life oh so difficult for the London Oratory fly half. Incredible line speed.
As you said, Angus, really trying hard to get off the line here. I'm not sure who it was that jumped off the line early, but the Oratory clearly trying to put London Oratory under a lot of pressure here and get off the line quickly, but just a bit too eager on that occasion.
Well, and not to make it too World Cup final centric, I've not seen a card brown. I think that could be just a regulation substitution there.
Yeah, so Archie Watson coming onto the field here. I think Ollie Robinson is an impressive second row, back row forward. Just going to have a quick medical timeout here. It didn't seem to be anything too wrong, so hopefully he'll be returning to the field sooner rather than later.
Of planes fly overhead. We are not too far away from Heathrow Airport at all. Also not too far away from the Sky Studios, Sky Sports, our great rivals here at Next Gen 15, I like to think. Just down the road, they're advertising all over the post protectors, as you can see.
I think some of our boys were a bit confused. I think they thought they were going to suddenly be on Sky Sports this evening, but not quite that much in demand.
We wouldn't concede schools rugby to Sky Sports that easily. London Oratory, this is an impressive maul, working their way up to the 5 metre line. Comes down now of its own accord, I think. Perhaps not, perhaps not. They'll have the penalty. Incredibly impressive maul.
Yeah, penalty count just starting to add up here now for the Oratory. You can see here the referee speaking to the captain, Jamie O'Donovan. I think it's the 3rd penalty in short succession here.
It's just so hard sometimes when those mauls get moving not to give away some sort of penalty. I guess the crucial thing is give away a penalty early enough that it doesn't turn into a penalty try.
Yeah, I think particularly at this age group as well, Angus, the first year that these boys would have had a sort of contested lifted line out, so maybe not as experienced as in years gone by of how to deal with that maul once it gets set. So really difficult, as you say, to try and stop it legally once that maul is in motion.
Always an advocate for cynical play. If you're gonna give away a penalty on a maul, give it away before it becomes more serious. That's probably why I talk about it rather than coaching it. That maul sets up again. London Oratory, they get the nudge on again. Really accelerating towards the try line. This is going to be hard to stop. Playing with advantage once more are London Oratory. They're almost over the line. The last minute repel from their opponents, but it is a penalty, and the referee, is he going to have a chat?
Yeah, I think fortunate again there, the Oratory. I did wonder if he was going to go straight under the 6 there.
Interestingly, London Oratory go for the drive. What a tackle that is. Try-saving tackle. London Oratory get across the line in the end anyway, though. Eventually that forward power comes up trumps, and London Oratory have their second try.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision not to go to the corner again after the effectiveness of their last 2 mauls. Instead went for the quick tap. I think it was Rhys Ackerman in the second row did an excellent job to stop the initial wave, but just couldn't do it on the second occasion.
Now I think, according to my rejigged team sheet, might have been blindside flanker Edric Lanappen that got across the line. Apologies if not. But a fine start to this game from London Oratory. Their forwards enjoying this opening quarter of an hour. And when you're in a game, Mikey, where the forward pack are putting the squeeze on a little bit, as London Oratory have been at the moment, what are the things you can do to try and move the game away from that?
Yeah, it's interesting, Angus. I think 3 of the standout players for our under-16s, 80 Hector at fly half, Rudy Derbyshire at inside centre, and JJ McCarthy at outside centre, not really been in the game so far. I think Mr. Ian Jordan, the coach, would just like to see them be a bit more prominent and get their hands on the ball. I think the one occasion we were able to get some field position in the London Oratory heart, they looked a real threat going wide. So I think the message would just be to try and play at a tempo, try and move the ball wide where possible, and just to try and avoid that penalty count there, not to give the London Oratory opportunity to go to that maul as often as possible.
Kick-off went towards Bonini. He looks like he's a real threat on the carry, as too is Gallagher in the second row.
And with penalty advantage again here, I missed what it was for, but penalty count really starting to be a problem for the Oratory.
There's the try scorer, Monapan, wearing 14 but playing on the blindside flank, it looks like. Line speed is up again in the Oratory, but it's good hands from their opponents. Enjoying the yellow ball this evening, just in case the snow comes down. Good body position from the Oratory, but we were playing a prior advantage. Referee's just going to have another chat.
Yeah, so Jamie O'Donovan, the captain, did well to turn that ball over, but on penalty advantage, I think he's been penalised for a high tackle. I might be doing him a disservice there, but certainly getting a talking to.
It looked like his tackle height had just crept up above what the referee was after. In fact, it wasn't him, it was his mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, Rhys Ackerman, tall young man, just started high and slid down. Apologies to the O'Donovan family tuning in.
What all that means is London Oratory have another penalty inside the 22. And another chance See if they can get that maul going. They go to the front and they do set up that maul. There's a hint of separation there, but they move the ball out to the back line this time. It's well defended that time at maul time from the Oratory. There's a couple of players over the ball there. It's going to be hard work, but the referee's playing with advantage. Their hands are on the floor. So London Oratory with free ball here. And they give it to that man, Benini, once again. Benini still going on. Benini across the line. He's looked like a threat every single time he's got the ball. And Lorenzo Benini has his second. London Oratory their third. And as soon as that ball went inside towards him, it felt like danger time.
Yeah, just really struggling at the moment, the Oratory, with the sort of power game up front that the London Oratory boys are bringing, just forcing penalties out of them and not able to repel some of these big ball carriers they have up front.
See it here, Marco D'Amico, the fly half, just pops it back inside. And I tell you what, when you got Benini on your team, why wouldn't you?
A misconversion there, which could prove costly later down the line. Just clipping that left hand upright from pretty much smack in front, so be hoping that won't come back to be a key factor at the end. I think it was last year's under-16 game was maybe similar situation at half-time, and we saw a big second half comeback. Certainly from my perspective, hoping for something similar here from the team in black and gold.
It was a thrilling game last year. 2017 it finished up in London Oratory's favour, but as you say, a terrific comeback. Actually their first victory in this under-16 fixture since 2013. London Oratory. The Oratory have had the joy in this one over the years. Can they find a bit of joy here? Thunderous tackle comes in. They keep possession and they just have a little dart around the fringes. Who shoots? Ball is loose though. Turnover. Yields decent ball. Really are fighting through contact ever so well, London Oratory. It's just losing it as they went to ground there. We've got another penalty. 3. Wanting another chat. Doing a good job of keeping the conversation going with the skipper here. And it's penalties that are making the difference here at the moment. It's a really ambitious kick from London Oratory, doesn't find touch, so the Oratory will look to see if they can find a bit of space. The kick down the middle though, there's a few players there, but the chase is good. And the turnover comes as well. Could be some space here on the right hand side if they can get it through the hands. Drift defence comes in. Just need to find a bit of width here. And they do. Now there could be some space to move the ball into. They send it through the boot. London Oratory taking advantage of the bouncing ball to find a few spaces as they look to return that kick. Now up to the halfway line with another really good carry from Gallagher.
With penalty advantage again here, I just think this penalty count is a real problem here for the Oratory. It's just preventing them from getting any sort of momentum into the game.
Referee decides it's going nowhere. Come back for that penalty. Oratory didn't quite find touch within the last one, but easier angle for the right footer this time. They do find a very decent touch through power, the skipper.
Mr. Jordan, the Oratory under-16 coach in front of us here, not very happy with some of the mistakes and penalty count at the moment. You can see the referee again here talking to the captain, Jamie O'Donovan. I wouldn't be too surprised to see if we're Well, not too far away from a yellow card at this stage. The number of penalties starting to add up.
Line out. Oratory ball, London Oratory ball, rather. Scrappy, but comes down. Benini has it. Benini goes on. It's going to take 2 or 3 people to wrap him up tonight.
A really impressive carry there from Benini again. The turnover from Jamie O'Donovan, and now Rudy Derbyshire has taken a quick penalty.
And the Oratory finding space up to halfway line. Oh, that's ambitious and brilliant to get that ball away. This is good stuff from the Oratory.
Yeah, much better, Angus. You can see the boys wanting to sort of play at a tempo and a speed. Rudy Derbyshire prominent in this phase of attack for the Oratory. Penalty advantage of their own here as well now.
We've seen their opposition take advantage of advantage. Can they this time? Not quite, but we'll come back for that penalty. And it's for offside.
A really sharp play from Rudy Derbyshire, took the quick penalty and released JJ McCarthy. Really impressive athlete. I say, although they've conceded 3 tries here, I think if they were able to score here approaching half-time and be back into this game, they'd probably take that considering the start that they had. A really important passage of play, this.
Definitely, and a big moment from Jamie O'Donovan, getting the turnover on his opposite number, who's been such a force in these early moments. Just getting one back for his side, and it creates a bit of confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see as well, he's really strong over the ball, leads by example, has been an excellent captain of this team through the age group. So yeah, really impressive player, Jamie O'Donovan at number 8.
So, line out to the Oratory. Last time they were in this part of the field, they came within a couple of inches of getting across the line. What can they do here? Line out forms. I think that's Waller that's on it at the back.
I say, it's the first time I've ever seen Will Waller at hooker throw. Looks a really impressive, well, playing in the back row but throwing, looks a really impressive thrower for under 16s.
As the maul comes down, London Oratory get their hands over the ball and they get the penalty. Twice now the Oratory have been up here, and twice this London Oratory defence has managed to find a penalty. Kick won't go to touch though. A chance here before the break for a counter-attacking try, but the referee says it did go out. We're going to come back.
I couldn't quite see from our angle here, Angus, if that was out or not, but so Mr. Jordan, the Oratory coach, saying the ball had gone out of play. And on that evidence, it looks like it did cross the line with JJ McCarthy's feet on the floor.
Ricky Skills trying to keep the ball in those scenarios. Lineouts missed its jumper, but finds a fresh target at the back. Big bruising run. Across the 10-metre line, but the interception comes in from the Oratory, and they're going to have enough pace to get away. They're on the scoreboard. They needed it, and they've stepped up with a beautiful interception.
Yeah, 80 Hector at fly half, read that early, got off the line, real opportunist try, but excellent read there from the Oratory fly half to bring them right back into this game.
Well, line speed's got them in trouble on a couple of occasions, but this time it pays off in a big way.
And he just looks as though, I wasn't sure live whether he was offside, but watching the replay here, it looks like he's timed it to perfection. And say, excellent read from 80 Hector at fly half to get the Oratory back into this game.
Brilliant from 80 Hector. Conversion won't go, but that is just the confidence booster his side needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say, I think they look threatening when they get on the ball and they're able to move it wide and play at a pace. If they can cut the penalty count out here and just get a bit of field position, I think this game has still got plenty left in it.
Certainly does. If there's one thing we learned from last year's games, it is that they are not over until they're over. Slow walk back to halfway from London Oratory, maybe just thinking, we've got a lead, let's just make sure we get to half time without conceding again, and let's use up a few seconds on the clock. It's a good kickoff as well. Chase is great too, but Oratory do really well to fight through that, get the offload away, and another brilliant offload comes in, and you can just see when they get the ball moving, they've got a real sense of confidence, and now they could have an opportunity as McCarthy stabs it over the top. The chase is on for it, it's covered by Power, but it's lost backwards, and McCarthy gets up towards the line and over the line.
It's a fantastic try from the Oratory, straight back from the kickoff. I think it was Waller who initially dealt with the restart, and a great offload by Rhys Ackerman, which just helped to release McCarthy. Say he's an outstanding athlete, showed great footwork and pace here to get on the outside, and then really good footballing skills to put the ball in behind. Got his bit of luck here with the ricochet bounce off the London Oratory, but showed good composure to finish. And from nowhere, this game is suddenly very, very tight again.
Well, and once that ball is bouncing like that, I mean, it was wonderful footwork in the lead up to it. Once the ball starts bouncing like that, that's a sideways bounce. It is a nightmare when you're covering. Creates a lottery. He does really well, actually, just to slow his feet up when the ball does squirt loose. To pick it up and get across the line. And it's 2 in as many minutes for the Oratory. And from a tricky-looking 15-0 deficit just a couple of minutes ago, McCarthy then lands the conversion, and we go in at half-time. 15-12, London Oratory leading. But Mikey, what a difference a couple of minutes can make.
Yeah, massive 2 minutes or so there for the Oratory, and I imagine a very different team talk here from Mr. Jordan and Mr. Muckolt here to the Oratory under-16. So 12 points on the board in pretty much 90 seconds or so, has suddenly put this game, or sprung this game into life. And say, just think two contrasting styles really. You see the power game the London Oratory are bringing is causing us real problems. But when we have been able to get on the ball and move it wide and play at a pace, as you can see there with that last try, have been really threatening. So I say, all set up here for an excellent second half.
We certainly are. So just look back through the story of the half. Opening try of the game from the outstanding Lorenzo Bonini, breaking off the back of that scrum. We speculated as to whether he might, given the nature of that blindside. But my goodness me, I'm not sure we expected anything quite as athletic as that from Bonini for a fantastic opening score. Back row colleague Lanapan got over for the second. Close drive after a series of penetrative mauls. And that man there in shot, Gallagher, although he was tackled well there, has been a real threat on the carry. Lanapan, the beneficiary of that good early work from the mauls. That made it 10-0, and 15-0 would come from a second score for Bonini. And at this point, the game was starting to feel like it was a dangerous one for the Oratory. Penalty count was rising. London Oratory, with this powerful forward pack of theirs, we're finding some real joy. You see the power coming through there from Bonini as he crossed the line for that 15-0 lead. But to close the second half, 2 moments of individual magic from the Oratory. Adi Hector, after his side had been toying with the offside line all half, gets on the right side of it and plucks the intercept straight from scrum half. You very, very rarely see that. It is so hard to get up in that channel. But Hector managed it, and he had the pace to finish it off. Close it to 15-5. And then on the stroke of half-time, straight from the kickoff return, JJ McCarthy with this moment of utter magic. First the footwork, the kick through was just horrible to deal with, and then the composure to slow his feet, gather the ball and get across the line for a try that he converted himself. Look at that footwork, sensational. An intelligent kick in field, making sure that the bounce would keep the ball alive. So gathered to score, landed the conversion himself, and that sends us in at the half-time break here at Grasshoppers RFC in the under-16 game. The Oratory 12, London Oratory 15. And Mikey, almost a game, well, half of two halves in many ways.
Yeah, very much so. I'd say the London Oratory very dominant for the majority of that half, and in large spells put us under real pressure. But in the last few minutes or so there, that try from Eddie Hector and that excellent individual finish from JJ McCarthy, bringing the Oratory right back into this contest. So really exciting second half ahead. And as I say, I think if the Oratory can just get hold of the ball, reduce the penalty count, play at a pace, move the ball wide, they've just shown that they've got the ability to score points. And equally from the London Oratory, if they can maintain that power game, go to their maul, be strong in and around the ruck, they've also shown the ability to score tries here. So a really exciting game coming up, two contrasting styles. Not sure which way this is going to go, not willing to call it at this stage.
Could go any which way at the moment, couldn't it? And that's what we like to see. What we have had revealed in that opening half an hour, though, is where each side feels they might be able to get on top. London Oratory clearly have a very dominant forward pack in terms of the power that they can bring, but with the Oratory's ambition in the way they look to play, getting those offloads out there, and then the pace and indeed the skill as they start to move wide, they've got a real threat in that channel. Interesting to see which style comes out on top.
There seem to have been a couple of changes here at half-time as well. Archie Watson and Sam Snowden coming on for the Oratory into the forward pack. Two probably bigger sized pupils to come in there, so that might be helpful in terms of repelling the power game of the London Oratory. Not sure who's going to play in the back row here. I imagine Archie Watson has gone into the second row, and possibly Ollie Robinson has gone to the back row, but I'm just trying to work out who has actually left the field. I think I can see number 6, Jacob Bangs, at the side. And I may have jumped the gun on Sam Snowden here. I think Reece Ackerman's still on the field, but definitely Archie Watson onto the field in the number 17 shirt, replacing Jacob Bangs. Might just give the Oratory some more physicality up front.
Well, players have been out on the field for a minute or two, ready to go. But now they get underway. Oh, it's a really good kickoff as well, actually.
He's done well here, JJ McCarthy, just to escape that kick chase.
McCarthy really does have his tail up, doesn't he? So too his mate Derbyshire. That's just charged down though into touch. Oratory line out ball.
He did well, Rudy Derbyshire, just to fend off the initial tackle. Couldn't quite get his kick away here, but fortuitous bounce into touch. And Will Waller here playing in the back row, but throwing for the Oratory. Looked a really impressive thrower in the first half.
Waller survives the potential curse of the commentator. And they move the ball into the midfield, and Hector ball forward, but then it's been lost. London Oratory have possession, playing with knock-on advantage. Benini moves the ball out to this left wing here. Benini's ball. Benini has it back. Benini has a hat-trick. Superb rugby. I think it might have been August Bertrand that he fed it to, who then had such great footwork to get around the outside, and then the presence of mind to give the ball back to him. And that man Benini has a hat-trick right at the start here of the second half.
A really sharp play from the London Oratory, just capitalising on the turnover. We're able to move the ball into space, and Benini's probably been the standout player on the field so far, deservedly crossing again to complete his hat-trick.
It's good all-round skills from both players, actually. Benini drawing a couple of players in before passing. And I tell you what, there are not many wingers around that 5 metres from the line, and they could opt for the leg drive to get themselves across that would give the offload to the man inside. But that is exactly what Bertrand did. Absolutely the right decision. And his number 8 gets his hat-trick. Another really good charge down attempt, and it pays off because the conversion hits the post. What's he been working on those?
Yeah, I imagine it is probably something they've seen happen at the World Cup and are now looking to replicate it. 80 Hector again there, fast off the line. And I say that could be a big moment in the game here with the margin at 8 points.
It could be. 6 tries already in this game. Definitely an entertaining one. As Derbyshire absolutely launches the restart into the 22. Back for the scrum.
There's almost another intercept there. I'm not sure who it was. It possibly was Hector again.
Well, he's obviously fast off the mark. He's had a couple of near misses on charge downs from kicks. He's got his intercept. Obviously backs himself over those short distances. Yes, indeed. Eddie Hector pressing. London Oratory scrum. Remarkably few scrums tonight, actually. Made to work hard to win that one, but then once they've won it, they've found a bit of space. Lovely footwork from London Oratory. Across the halfway line they go, not held in the tackle, so they can bounce back to their feet. All is a little slower than they maybe would have liked. Just allows the Oratory to get back in defence, but London Oratory still in possession, still moving forward with it as well. That's a really good carry. And they'll have the penalty.
It was a great line break there, fantastic feet in the midfield. Tom Aitken-Woods on the right wing doing a great job to come across and make that tackle. But a good attacking opportunity here for the London Oratory to go to their line out, possibly back to that driving maul.
Look at it here, it was the fly half, Marco D'Amico. The big dummy, the big step. Plenty of pace to get up to halfway. It was a really important cover tackle on him. Say, they get the penalty, taking it up to just shy of the 22. It's a free kick to the Oratory. In fact, it might be a penalty. We need to have a word with the referee about the straightness or otherwise of his arm on these.
Yeah, definitely a long arm penalty here. I'm not actually sure what happened from our vantage point here on the far side of the field.
Well, he started off at 90 degrees and then he straightened it out to 45. No one ever said you had to get there in a hurry. Line out Oratory.
Be interesting to see here what the Oratory do. It looks like they're favouring this shortened line out. I wouldn't be surprised to see this ball go straight into Rudy Derbyshire, big carrier at inside centre.
Half an hour, by the way, until kick-off in the second 15 game, 6:15 that one. And the first 15's kicking off at 7:30. Big evening of schools rugby ahead of us here. London Oratory collects the bouncing ball. Tackle comes in from Derbyshire though. Important tackle as well. Benini, Benini, how does he just find a way to keep getting through tackles? Pass doesn't go to hand, so there will be a line out. It's a really important cover tackle from Derbyshire.
Yeah, that initial line out just a bit scrappy. I would have just liked to have seen Derbyshire just carry that, played the ball out of the back. 80 Hector unable to kind of regather it with any sort of control.
Penalty to the Oratory. An important little spell for them to survive. McCarthy will look to get this one as close to the halfway line as he can. It's a really tight angle, but it's a good effort. Well, I was going to get my mitts on the ball there for a second, but sadly just drifts infield of me.
Just while we've got this lull and play here, Angus, just a big thank you to Sam Borg and the team at Green Up. Sam, one of the former school captain and first 15 captain who's helped support this evening's event, and Mr. Peter Briffett and his team from Wage Stream, one of our current parents who have also helped support this evening's event. So thank you again for your ongoing support of the school and particularly of the rugby club.
Huge thanks to them. Without their support, these sort of events can't be brought to you, and it is such a pleasure to be able to bring them to you. We'll come back for a penalty. Couple in succession here for the Oratory, and a chance actually now from this angle to try and get the ball into the 22 and maybe launch some sort of play. Actually, as I say that, the angle has become a slightly tougher one than the one that I'd first anticipated.
Yeah, just starting to get on top of the penalty count here, the Oratory, sort of back-to-back line-out penalties. McCarthy's missed touch here, but good kick chase should still give them some sort of field position.
Ambition here from London Oratory, looking to run it out from inside their own 22. And doing well to get up to the 10-metre line. That's good work from them, and this is good work too. Another big carry. It looks so hard to contain when these big forwards get moving. O'Donovan had half a look at that one. He might have hurt himself in the process. But he's back on his feet, seems okay. Referee, I think, just wants to see him have a little chat with the physio, so that's exactly what will happen. Gives us another chance to thank tonight's sponsors for helping put together such a brilliant evening, a brilliant spectacle. Although it is a little chilly, could they have provided warmer temperatures? Something to consider for next year.
No, I'm just happy as long as it's not raining.
You and me both. You and me both. Welcome, by the way, to those of you joining us from the Midlands who were watching the rugby school against Marlborough College game earlier on. Busy week of rugby. Busy day of rugby. 2 more to come here. And tomorrow night, more live rugby for you. Cheltenham College against Sir Thomas Riches at Kingsholm Stadium. And then on Friday night, over to Bury St Edmunds Rugby Club, where Ipswich School and Stowe School go head to head. Plenty of schools rugby to get your teeth stuck into. London Oratory pumped that one up towards the 22. We're back underway. About 20 minutes left to go here. This game in the balance, 8 points the difference. Ball is loose, but it's gathered by London Oratory, who threw the ball in. Gallagher. Here they move. Power, still going, the skipper. Just couldn't get the ball away when he wanted to. But it's a high tackle on him. They've got the penalty. Referee just calling the skippers over for another chat. Both sides finding it hard to stay on the right side of the penalty count at the moment. Nothing too unruly, just errors of precision more than anything else.
Yeah, I think obviously with the tackle height law change this year, still relatively new to most of the boys. Some of them struggling to kind of adapt to that new law, but otherwise, you know, a lot of penalties for being offside, not rolling away. So kind of small infringements that are really controllable. You can hear Mr. Jordan and Mr. Muckholt, the Oratory coaches' frustration with that on the sideline. You sense this is a sort of big moment in the game here with that 8-point swing with just under 20 minutes or so to go.
Certainly is a big moment. London Oratory pumped that ball into the corner. You just see that high tack. It's one of those unfortunate ones, isn't it, where you're almost trying to absorb the contact, but you've got to dip those knees and get underneath the contact nowadays. London Oratory line out. At 7 metres out, they bring it down. We've seen them maul it with real style from here before. Almost running over the line, and they get the try.
There seems to be some confusion here about the Oratory looking not to engage the line out. I'm not entirely sure if the try has been awarded. I think it has.
Referee's just going to explain how that law works. It is a tricky one. It's such a moment of real timing as much as anything else when you try to do that, when you try to sort of not engage in those mauls, because one person lays one finger and suddenly the whole thing falls apart. But when it works, it can be devastating.
Yeah, long conversation here between the referee and the captain, Jamie O'Donovan. It did look like initially like someone had engaged them all, so I think the referee has got this right.
We'll see it again here. I think the trouble is that one of the Oratory players, not so much that he was engaged as that he was in contact, which he does touch a hand down, and unfortunately that is enough.
Yeah, brave decision in the first place not to engage that close to the line. I think that was the risk you always run.
Well, it's a wonderful conversion as well. Important conversion. Puts London Oratory 27-12 in front. Really unlucky one, that one, for the Oratory. You've got to admire the bravery to take that on, but you've got to admire London Oratory as well, understanding that the contact had been made and driving forward.
Benini again here, really strong carry. Just the Oratory struggled all evening to kind of cope with the power and the pace that he's shown.
What I've enjoyed about Benini's performance is that quite often at this age group, if you've got a player that's a standout, particularly when they can run like that, we'll come back to that because the Oratory are making good ground here, almost up to the 22.
It looked like Wayne Apollo on the left wing. Again, another really good athlete.
Charging forward, cross into the 22 now, the Oratory. Defence is spread wide, so they'll probably stay tight again. In fact, they look to that short side in Derbyshire. He's a good man to give the ball to. He's a very good man to give the ball to. Still going. The big inside centre. Ball just squirts loose. Tidied up by Power. He has been everywhere tonight. They were playing with advantage, and they'll go back for it.
Yeah, great carry there from Rudy Derbyshire. Really impressive at inside centre. He looks keen to get his hands on the ball here again.
Well, he's a big young man, is Rudy Derbyshire. He's on a par with much of the forward pack.
Yeah, I think he has played a bit at number 8 in the past. Moved to inside centre this season so far. I say really impressive all-round sportsman, and I say showing good footwork for a big man there. Comfortable on the ball as well.
It was really good scramble in the end from the defence. The Oratory have stuck this one in the corner. 10 metres from the try line. That's really well taken because that was a tricky line out as he was coming down. Derbyshire takes it in, then flings the offload out. Now his centre partner,
It's a great feat from McCarthy again.
Bouncing this way and that, eventually brought down. Good clear out as well. Derbyshire Close in. Looking for another one of those offloads, but the big tackle comes in from Benini. And so we come back for another penalty. And now it's their turn to feel like they're on the right side of the whistle for a few moments.
I think Max Schutz here, just with a bit of a dead leg, the Oratory scrum half has just slowed down proceedings when I think the Oratory were looking to try and get the ball back in play as quickly as possible. I think Rudy Derbyshire again keen to get his hands on the ball here.
Max, have you got? Max, come on! Max!
Painful things, a dead leg. O'Donovan will take a tap from 5 metres. O'Donovan goes towards the post. He's not quite there, but he's inches short. Close again from the Oratory. Now they go a bit wider. Defence is good, but the defence is now packed tight. Unfortunately, so to the attack, but there will be space if they can find it. But the try is scored from close range.
It's the captain, Jamie O'Donovan, getting the Oratory back into it, leading by example, the number 8, after a good period of pressure from the Oratory. I've just had a message in as well from Rudy Derbyshire's older brother, old Oratorian Harry Derbyshire, who would like us to point out that if his younger brother was as quick as him, he probably would have scored then. I'm not sure that is the case at the moment, though.
Nothing like getting stitched up by your older brother on the live stream, is it? O'Donovan, as you say, blasting over from short range. A timely score. McCarthy stands over the conversion. Doesn't go though. So we stay with a 10-point difference. 27-17 and an Oratory lead.
Yeah, still plenty of time here left. You saw in the first half the Oratory racking up those 12 points in a little over a minute. So it's already shown the ability to score points quickly. So I think this game has still got some legs in it, but you sense here the next score is probably key.
Yeah, just a shade under a quarter of the game left. Matteo D'Amico sends the kickoff up towards the 22, bounces, but O'Donovan is there to tidy up. It might just look, I was about to say they were going to have a run, but they give it a kick, and a good decision as well, because it's spilled loose and it allows the chase to get up into the faces of the London Oratory attack here.
Just pick my head up to see Benini lurking in midfield here again. I think he's a real danger man every time he gets on the ball.
Gallagher takes it in, rides the first contact and is then brought down by O'Donovan. Battle of the two number 8s. Feels like it could be important in these closing stages. Gallagher again, bounces off the first tackler again. Now Benini. He's well dealt with, gets the offload away though, and then the big tackle comes in on D'Amico.
Get low, Ollie, bend these.
Crucial
Press up,
few moments of the game here. London Oratory have advantage for the high tackle. They go around the corner and across the line. Ball doesn't get down though. We'll come back for the penalty for the high tackle. Great defence, but the threat is not dealt with yet.
Yeah, really good piece of play there just to hold the ball up, prevent the try being scored, but still under real pressure here. And again, wouldn't just be surprised to see this ball go straight into Benini.
That's exactly what they do. Dealt with well again though. Now London Oratory just break around the fringe. Another good tackle comes in.
Penalty advantage again here.
Cross the line, go London Oratory. And this time they're across with the try.
Yeah, you just sensed it was coming. Big carry after big carry. On penalty advantage.
Jack Gallagher, the other number 4, is the man to get the try.
Denzel on for Tom Aikenwood.
And he's deserved that. He's put in a real shift. He's carried hard. Been a constant threat. And now he has a try for his troubles. Jack Gallagher.
No, that's the time.
As his mate, Matteo Yamako, stands over the conversion.
Just again, Angus, while we've got this sort of break in play, a shout out to Sam Borg and Green Up, Peter Briffett and Wavestream for their support this evening's event, and also to the British Heart Foundation and Cardiac Risk in the Young, who've done some excellent work recently with our former school rugby club captain Morgan McRae, formerly of the Scarlets and Wales Sevens, who unfortunately had a cardiac arrest in the summer, but thanks to their support, he's well on the way to recovery. So if anyone is watching online and would like to make a contribution either to CRY or the British Heart Foundation, I know it would be much appreciated by the McRae family.
Here, brilliant work that they do, and of course a big thank you to all of those sponsors from us here for being able to get tonight's fantastic event on. Towering box kick comes in and it ends up in Oratory hands. 8.5 minutes left to play. It's not over yet. They'll think a couple of quick scores like they had at the end of the first half and suddenly becomes a game of momentum. But we'll come back for the scrum from that knock on. We'll see what we can do.
So I'm not sure how many scrums we've actually had, Angus. It doesn't feel like many. I can't remember the Oratory having too many attacking scrums either, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here again. I wouldn't be surprised to see this ball go from 80 Hector straight into Rudy Derbyshire and then see what happens from there.
Well, do you know what? Off the top of my head, I think this might be the first Oratory put into a scrum. I think there've only been 2 previously in the entire game. It's a big, big drive from London Oratory. That is a statement from them. It could be a game-winning statement.
Yeah, that power game again there at the scrum time. The Oratory just really struggling to cope with it.
Marco D'Amico, fly half, took that one in, and now try scorer Jack Gallagher gets it across halfway. O'Donovan is all over it, but illegally so, says the referee. I think he was fine. I think it might have been the tackler on the floor that hadn't rolled away.
You can just start to see some of the first 15 players in the background starting to make their way pitch side. That'll be live at 7:30. So I know it's been a big topic of discussion in the school this week. Lots of people excited and looking forward to that game.
So there should be a 19-all draw last year, first 15 game. Big, big game. Before that, of course, second 15s, 6:15 straight after this one. 10 minutes time. First things first though, we have 6 minutes of play left here in the under-16 game.
Another good tackle from Jamie O'Donovan there in the back row. He's really sort of led by example and worked hard here for the Oratory this evening.
As has this man for London Oratory, Jack Gallagher, with another massive carry. As a shot rains through on his mate.
And with penalty advantage again here, I think, for the London Oratory. It's been really impressive when they've got on the front foot here, their forward power.
Cheeky little kick comes in, and it works out pretty nicely for Marco D'Amico. Come back for the penalty.
Yeah, Will!
London Oratory very keen to get underway quickly. Again, proves the difference between my cynicism and School of Rugby players' ambition. I'd be looking to go slowly at this point if I was in their shoes.
I think this ball will definitely go into the corner again. Back to that catch and drive. I think credit to the London Oratory, certainly in this second half, when they have got their hands on the ball, they've looked to attack from deep, played at a good pace, and when they've needed to, gone back to this forward power game.
They have been absolutely excellent. Famous red and black hoops. Line out just inside the 22. They go to the front, bring it down. This time the Oratory do engage with the ball, and the ball ends up squirting loose. It'll be an Oratory scrum.
Yeah, disappointing line out there for the London Oratory, but not the worst thing in the context of the game here. Another stoppage, clock continuing to roll. That last scrum, really, really powerful statement. So I don't think the worst outcome here for the London Oratory to have another scrum.
Low and tight.
I think Reece Ackerman there had come away with the ball. It's actually had quite an impressive game in the second row.
That's better. That's better. Sir. Let's go. Well done, fellas. Let's go. Let's go, Eddie.
Penalty to the Oratory. They go quickly, or they tried to go quickly. Now they do go quickly. Hector bounces off the right foot. Now moves the ball to Derbyshire. Derbyshire moves it out one. Could be some space out there on the left-hand side. It was nearly really well picked up off the toes. Just lost forward though.
I think a bit of frustration there from the penalty, brought back when the ball was live and in open space. You can see the ambition of the Oratory boys still to keep trying to play with width and at speed. Just unfortunate knock on there from Wayne Apollo on the left wing.
Lost backwards there by London Oratory. Everyone scrambling to try and get on it. Referee, in the meantime, calls for the scrum on around about the halfway line.
And again, just while we have this pause and play, big thank you to Sam Borg and the team at Green Up. Sam, a former school captain and first 15 captain at the Oratory, for his support of this evening's event. And the team at Wage Stream, led by Mr. Peter Briffett, one of our current parents, for their support of this evening's matches.
Referee just having a word about some of the back chat. Not too long left. Big game for everyone. Everyone wants to do well in it. Frustration's easy to come by when it starts to feel like it's got away from you. Just about 2 minutes left to play. We'll have a scrum. Oratory ball on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, that's last scrum much better than the one before that. Will Waller into the hooker position here from the back row.
Well, I don't know how the Oratory have got that ball away. They've done brilliantly to do so. Get it out into the wide channel. McCarthy picks up the loose ball, but it was lost forward, and we'll have a scrum. And a few tired bodies out there now.
Yeah, just errors starting to creep in. A couple of kind of simple handling mistakes, particularly when the ball has got wide. No shortage of ambition to try and move the ball, but just struggling to kind of keep the ball alive.
Do London Oratory have one more try in them before this game is up? Their scrum has been good. They don't fancy the try, they just hoop it off the field through Emil Redon. And why not? Why not hoop it off the field? In fact, they've hooped it right to me. They've had a great game here. A famous victory for them, 34-17. Look what it means to them. This week, indeed this whole second half of term, has been building towards this point for them, and they are absolutely delighted. The Oratory will be frustrated. They gave it as good as they could get, but in the end, it's that forward power that was the difference, and London Oratory come away with the victory. But Mikey, a fantastic start to today's live coverage. I mean, a game that saw real ambition from both sides.
Yeah, really exciting first game here, Angus, of this evening's live stream. Both teams playing some good rugby. We saw some strong forward play from the London Oratory, particularly in the first half. And whilst the Oratory played with some real ambition, tried to move the ball wide, not quite enough on this occasion to see them over the line. But an excellent start to this evening's games. Looking forward now to the second 15 game before the first 15 game at 7:30.
Absolutely. Just look through the story of the game. This is the third of 3 first half tries for London Oratory, the outstanding Benini was the man to score it. 15-0. It really did feel like a long road back for the Oratory, but they made it start to look like a shorter road. That intercept from Hector followed moments later, straight from the kickoff, by this magical effort from McCarthy that actually sent us in at half-time at 15-12, and suddenly it felt a bit like game on. But a really fast start to the second half from London Oratory made that road look ever so big once again. It was an early hat-trick for that man Benini. Good interplay with his winger Bertrand. It allowed him to complete the hat-trick and put his side 2012 in front. 2012 quickly became 27-12 from this maul try. There was time though for Jamie O'Donovan to get one back for the Oratory from close range. But that Benini hat-trick allied to tries from his forward pack. Stretched it out, and then to finish it off, a deserving try for Matt Gallagher, the other number 4, as he started to become known over the course of the game, finishing it off to leave things here at Grasshoppers RFC in the under 16 game, I should say, with London Oratory earning a superb 34-7 victory against the Oratory. Stay with us though, because coming up very shortly are the second 15, and then at 7:30 the first 15. So do stick with us, because the teams are in the tunnel. We'll be heading over to that one in just a couple of seconds.